And good morning, everyone. My name is Ramlingam Jyoti. I am part of TCS. The topic that I wanted to discuss about today is related to customer experience and how performance testing or performance engineering plays an important role in customer experience. I'll basically for today's agenda, I have a few things. One, I'll start with the customer experience trends. I'll touch upon a few of them, and then we'll talk about the significance of assuring customer experience and what is the performance of significance of performance in assuring customer experience. And then we'll talk about some of the challenges in addressing the performance in the life cycle. Then there are multiple approaches to address performance experience or performance, in the life cycle. What are the different approaches, and what is the best approach from ensuring customer experience is addressed? And how do we implement these customer experience as part of the performance testing and engineering life cycle? With that, I will move into the presentation. So this is basically some of the customer experience trends that we are seeing in the industry. So according to Gartner research, the organization will be focusing on something called the total experience, basically, which is a combination of different experiences across different channels. So which consists of multi experience. Basically, that's one of the dimensions which primarily actually talks about the different channels through which customers engage. For example, touch, voice, and then gesture, and also customer experience that we are aware, employee experience post COVID or even during the COVID time. There's a lot of focus on employee experience, which is more internal employees as well, rather than from an end user or end customer experience point of view, and also the user experience. So these are the four dimensions that the customers will be focusing on from an experience point of view, which is basically a total experience that we will be offering to the customers. And organizations which will focus on the total experience will primarily outperform the competitors in terms of establishing the satisfaction metrics for both customer and the employee experience. And we also have a few statistics over here, how the performance is actually a digital experience or customer experience is actually a top priority for the organizations. 72% of business consider improving digital experience as a top priority, and 84% of organizations have plans to increase investment in CX technology, customer experience technology, and 80% of customers delete apps that don't meet expectations. Primarily, there's a lot of emphasis on the performance when it comes to customer experience. While there are multiple dimensions and multiple metrics that are that represent customer experience, today we will be primarily focusing on performance as one of the dimensions from assuring customer experience. And just to mention, customer experience has been the reflection of the brand. So primarily, customer experience actually reflect the brand image promises, and also managing the experience in its all form should be top priority, and it will relate to better business outcomes. So when we say all forms, that's primarily the different dimensions, which includes multiple experience, and then customer experience, employee experience, and user experience. Okay, so application performance plays an important role in customer satisfaction and also end user experience. Poor application performance results in poor conversion rate, as well as it results in revenue loss. So this is some of the statistics that actually has been published by Google research report that primarily says 1 second delay in page load time leads to 11% fewer page views, and then 16% decrease in customer satisfaction and 7% loss in conversion. And as the page load time goes from 1 to 3 seconds, or it actually increases, the bounce rate increases exponentially. So as the bounce rate increases, customers actually abandon the sites or the mobile apps, and then they move away to the competitor. So there is a significant loss in the revenue due to increase in the response time, and there is a lot of measure that we need to take in order to address the performance early in the life cycle. And also some of the facts that more than 83% of customers expect a web page to load in 3 seconds. With a lot of customers started using mobile and other channels, customer expectation on performance of the applications has actually gone very high, and more than 40% of the customers will abandon the page if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. And as little as 1 second of delay decreases the customer satisfaction by about 16%. So there is a lot of emphasis or importance in terms of addressing performance as part of the life cycle, and that plays a very high role in terms of ensuring the brand image of the organization and also the reputation, and also ensuring the conversions which actually result in enhanced revenue. Okay, so what are the challenges in assuring performance experience? So when we are talking about performance experience or ensuring performance, we are basically talking about different channels through which users access the applications or engage with the applications. So there are with especially COVID coming into picture, a lot of customers are actually accessing the application from their home network. There are different varying network conditions across the geography, across the globe, and also especially when they are accessing it from home, there is a lot of instability in terms of connecting to the network. And also how do we simulate different geographical locations? So users are, while the users are connecting from probably different networks, they are also connecting from different geography locations. So how do we simulate different geographical locations in terms of bandwidth, latency, and the network characteristics to ensure that we are able to measure the performance and then ensure that the performance customer has better experience. And there are multiple devices from which the customers are actually accessing the application. So when we also talk about multiple devices, there are additional channels that are coming into picture. Right now, we are talking about chatbots, AR, VR, voice support. So there are multiple channels through which the customers are accessing, and each of those interaction, when it has a digital touch point or a digital channel, the performance becomes very important and crucial. And also the customers are actually accessing from different browsers. So there are plethora of browsers that are available, which includes mobile browsers as well as the desktop browsers. So how do we simulate different types of browsers and then measure the performance and then ensure that the customer actually gets a right performance as part of their their experience? So there are a lot of challenges. So how do we simulate across different types of the characteristics through which the end users are accessing the application, and how do we optimize the application to basically support the different channels as well as different channels through which the customers are accessing the application. So this is just a representation of the technologies, especially the front-end technologies that we are talking about. So when we talk about, customers are actually moving towards traditional application technologies into the front-end technologies, primarily which includes React, Angular, and then Vue, where there is a lot of activities that happen from a front-end point of view, which includes some of the business logic as well. With multiple technologies, front-end technologies coming into picture, there's a lot of complexity that is introduced in terms of your application delivery, in terms of the rendering part of it. So how do you render the application? How do you ensure that there is no impact to the end user by means of rendering the content from the browser? So traditionally, we have been focusing on the performance from a backend point of view. With the cloud technologies coming into picture, there is an auto scalable environment. So when there is actually a performance issue, there is a lot of resources available for us to kind of provide and then bring the scalability. And so that's primarily available. But while we are talking about the customer experience, so the backend is one part of it, and the front end is basically the next part of it, which plays a major role. And a lot of places we do not measure the front end performance. and most of the performance testing focuses primarily on the backend. And with the cloud technologies, unlimited resources, auto-scalable environment, there's a lot of resources available to scale up your application automatically when there is a lack of resources available, and there is a lot of focus that needs to be put in from a front end point of view. So again, so adoption of new front-end technologies, primarily from a better customer experiences point of view, poses a lot of challenges in terms of the customer experience as well. And we need to primarily focus on measuring and also optimizing the front-end experience in order to provide a better customer experience for all the customers. So when we talk about the different approaches for customer experience measurement, so how do we measure customer experience? When we talk about customer experience, how do we really measure customer experience? So what are the approaches that we can take to measure the customer experience? And so there are a couple of approaches when we talk about performance testing. When we talk about the traditional approach, we run a load test by simulating concurrent users, and then the focus is primarily on measuring the backend response time. So when we look at the traditional approach, you are focusing on your component, which can be your backend or your API, or some of the components that you are actually looking at from a performance point of view. Here, mostly the client-side rendering is actually kind of not measured because we are primarily looking at measuring the performance from a backend point of view at the network level. So the second approach is end-to-end performance testing approach, where while we are running the load test, so we are also looking at measuring the single user response time from an end user point of view. So let's say we are running a load test for 500 concurrent users. So we also run a single user test using functional testing tools like maybe UFT or Selenium, or probably a true client protocol from a for web-based application, and a combination of load testing tool plus Perfecto or C-test from a mobile experience point of view. So some of these approaches primarily provide an end-to-end response time. So from the basically a end user experience, end-to-end response time, primarily from the from a click of your end user to the time they actually see the entire content on their browser. So you are able to get the response time. Say for example, with the network level response time, you are able to get 3 seconds. End-to-end approach probably will tell you that the total end user experience or end-to-end response time is probably 5 seconds. So you are able to understand that there is a difference between the traditional approach and the end-to-end approach. But that there is 2 seconds that is being spent on the front end. But if you want to improve it, where do you need to actually focus on improving this 2 seconds in order to bring the better experience? So we are not able to get the details in terms of what needs to be improved in order to improve the customer experience. So that's where we are talking about the third approach, which is the customer experience approach. So while we run the concurrent user test primarily from a using the load testing, we also simulate single user test, which will primarily simulate the real user behavior in terms of simulating a real behavior browser from where the user will be actually accessing the application. And these simulation will be done from different geographical locations rather than probably simulating the network conditions. And while we are simulating the geographical locations, even though users are accessing from different geographical locations, they are still connecting from different network conditions. So how do we simulate different network bandwidth while they are actually connecting from different geographical locations? And also, how do we simulate certain devices, for example, iPhone or whatever. So that's something that basically we can actually simulate. And then while we are able to simulate these kind of testing, how do we get certain insights in terms of metrics that can actually provide you a breakdown of the various components, and then provide you insights on where you need to focus on from an optimizing customer experience. So that's primarily the focus of customer experience. While you are simulating single user tests using real browsers, geographical location networks and devices, where do you need to focus on improving, and how do you improve those the customer experience? So that's primarily the third approach. In fact, that's primarily the customer experience approach that in fact we from TCS are also actually taking, and that we probably insist on the industry practitioners also to focus on this, so that you will be able to identify and then provide detailed insights from a customer experience optimization point of view. While we talk about the customer experience approach, I also mentioned about some of the metrics that can probably provide us an insight of uh, what is the customer experience and where do we need to focus on customer experience. So we are talking about a few metrics that can probably provide you an indication of what is the customer experience and where you really need to focus on. We are talking about 5 metrics over here. The first one is time to first byte. So primarily this indicates the responsiveness of your web server. When do you get your first byte delivered from your server? This primarily indicates the time spent on your network, or even the responsiveness of your server. The more this particular component, it will have a cascading impact on your entire the set of metrics, next set of metrics, because your the content will start rendering only after you get your first byte from the server, after you get a handshake as well as the server. So primarily there is a lot of focus that needs to be given on this metric, primarily from a backend optimization point of view. The next metric, which is the fast visual change, this is one of the very important metrics when it comes to customer experience. So this is the first content visible to the end user to keep them engaged. While the user is loading the web page, they are just staring at the browser to find out what is happening. Okay, and they keep seeing a blank page, and then they find, okay, there's nothing is loading, so let me move on to the competitor site. So how do you keep them engaged? Primarily by showing some content in the web page, and probably showing progressively loading the page, so that the user also knows, yeah, the page is loading, and I can expect certain content to be delivered, and so it keeps them engaged. And this is very important metric. The more you are able to show the content to the end user immediately, then the end user is engaged. Third one is time to interact. There are websites where, for example, typically banking websites, when you look at it, as soon as the page gets loaded, the users will start typing their user ID and password. So basically, you need to make your page interactive. So this may not be applicable to all the cases, but there are certain cases, where the user may want to start performing their action as soon as the page gets loaded. So that's one of the factor that need to be taken into account for web pages that requires interaction to be enabled immediately. Then load time. So basically, how fast you are able to load your page and then show the visible content on the your browser. So there's something called above the fold and below the fold. So whatever visible on your screen, that's called as above the fold. So if you are able to show the content to the end user quickly, the end user actually can start going to the web page and then probably find out what is required for them. So that actually gives a better customer experience. So they are also happy that the page is loaded and they can start getting engaged as well as start performing the action. Finally, full load time. This may be mostly applicable for applications which are designed from a lazy loading point of view, because you are not going to load all the content immediately. So obviously, this is one of the design practices where while you are able to load the content on the visible area, so you are also trying to design in such a way that the rest of the content gets loaded a bit later. So this may need to be kind of taken into account for web pages which are primarily lazy loading, or there are certain pages where you need to kind of look at enabling it immediately. So these are primarily 5 metrics that we are talking about. And when it comes to customer experience, obviously the fast visual change is definitely one of the important metrics, and that will have a cascading effect if there is a delay in your the first byte to be delivered from your from the web server. So how do we actually collect these metrics? And and also I talked about simulating the different, the different types of behaviors in terms of real browsers as well as network conditions, geographical locations. So there are tools, both commercial as well as open source. I'm just talking about the open source tools that are available, which is available in the industry that can help us, simulate as well as capture these metrics. So web page test, which is a popular tool, which can actually help you probably gather all these metrics, where actually you can simulate simulate the traffic from different geographical locations and across different browsers as well as real browsers. And Google Lighthouse is one of the other tools that you can actually use for simulating this single user performances from different geographies. And Chrome Developer Tool also has certain provisions, so from where you can actually gather these metrics. And in some of these tools, basically there are APIs available. For example, Google Lighthouse, you have the APIs available in Chrome browser itself, so where you can install and then instrument the application from a to get these metrics. And while we are talking about the optimization, so now you know what are these metrics, and okay, yeah, I've got certain set of metrics that tells me this is what is happening, but how do I improve it? And so there are certain optimization techniques. For example, if there are multiple requests coming from the web server, maybe you need to look at it minimizing, and then as well as reducing the number of requests. Probably there are maybe your page size is very high. You may need to look at reducing the number of DOM elements, and let's say putting the JavaScript at the bottom. Primarily, if you put your JavaScript at the top, it takes the priority, and then it delays the entire rendering. And probably there are images that are actually scaled that you need to probably scale it down. So these are some of the optimization techniques, primarily from a front-end point of view, and in fact, that can be applied to improve your front-end customer experience. And what are the tools that can actually help you to do this? So Google PageSpeed Insights. So you can actually run the test using Google PageSpeed Insights as well as Yahoo's Wiselo. So these are two tools that can actually provide you the insights on what needs to be improved in order to improve your customer experience. And so some of these tools, in fact, they primarily provide these metrics for static pages. Okay, especially when there are pages behind the login, there is a challenge in actually addressing it. And also when we talk about end user journey, for example, starting from uh, checkout, I mean starting from um, um, order to checkout. So it's an entire journey. If you want to actually simulate the entire journey and then find out for each page what is the optimization that I need to do when it is behind the login, there is a bit of a challenge. So at this point in time, there are no solutions. Probably you can use some of the protocols available in some of the tools like TrueClient, so that you can get the response time, but obviously you will not be able to get the breakup and also the optimization optimization recommendations for you to improve it. So that's something that is still not addressed in the industry. Probably there has to be some work in order to address, to capture the end user journey, and then capture the metrics for the end user journey, and also coming up with the optimization. Right now, it is more manual in nature that you can probably do it. Um, so with that, I'll move on to the shift left approach. I mean, how do we implement these approaches as part of your software development lifecycle? This is primarily an agile methodology. What we are talking about, as part of your release planning, obviously you will need to define your I mean customer experience metrics targets. So we talked about some of these metrics in the previous slide. So how do we define certain targets? Okay, so looking at either your end-to-end response time, and also breaking them down at a individual metric level. So what should be the target for your time to first byte, first visual change, and then defining those targets. And while we are doing your customer experience metric target, you also have to define targets at your tier level and also probably at your query level, because your customer experience, also depends on your backend performance. So that's also one thing. It has to be looked in totality rather than looking only from a customer experience point of view. So we need to define targets so that you can actually fine tune your application if they are actually deviating from the target. And as part of your sprints, so basically you need to run these tools and then measure these metrics, and then look at probably optimization early in the life cycle as part of optimizing your UI level. So probably, for example, if you are including a image which is actually has a higher resolution, probably you can look at it. How do you construct your DOM, and then how do you render sequence your DOM in such a way that it actually provides a better customer experience? And obviously, beyond the customer experience, like API level, application DB profiling, and all those things, so that you can optimize the application early in the life cycle. And obviously, towards the release end, while you are running your load test with a higher concurrent users, you also need to perform a single user measurement by running these tools and then capturing the CX metrics, because in a single user, probably your backend performance may be better, your time to first byte may be actually lower, but when you are running under load, the impact on the concurrent user probably will reflect in your time to first byte, as well as in your load time, as well as in your full load time. So that will primarily help you understand where we are spending more time and where we need to focus in order to bring better customer experience. And finally, once we move the code into production, so we have to establish production monitoring with SLAs, SLIs, and SLOs, so that you are able to measure the response time of the end-to-end application, and also deploying analytics tools, because currently most of the organizations has one or other analytics tool like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics. So can we gather some of the customer experience dimensions? For example, what is the bounce rate, what is the exit rate, what is the conversion rate, how is the usage pattern across the different devices, different browsers, and so can we probably look at them, and then let's say if your bounce rate is very high or exit rate is very high, can you probably provide that as an input to your release planning as part of your user story analysis or your non-functional requirement analysis? Can you provide these metrics and then define the targets? For example, if you see a high bounce rate in your production, can you probably set a target and then probably take that as an input in order to work backwards in optimizing the application performance in terms of establishing the different targets for the customer experience? And conversion, probably, obviously, as part of the analytic tools, I mean, you need to define your user journey and then take it from the funnel. What is the bounce rate for each of those pages, where we are spending, which particular step in the user journey is having a high bounce rate or high exit rate, and how do we look at optimizing this? So this needs to be given as a feedback to your NFRs, so that we can start working on it early in the life cycle and follow this particular approach in order to improve the customer experience. Okay, so, and in fact, I just wanted to talk about one of the customers for which we have actually implemented Neoload along with Perfecto. Obviously, one of the customer, large airlines customer in Asia Pacific. So they had a kind of a challenge in terms of measuring the end user experience. And so now, in fact, we had actually deployed a Neoload along with Perfecto Mobile, so that we can actually get an end user experience, primarily an end-to-end response time, to understand what is the end-to-end response time. And in fact, we are also working on deploying this particular end user experience approach in order to measure the end user experience as well as optimize it. And as we are speaking, in fact, we are working with at least a handful of customers who have actually requested for customer experience improvement or optimization for their front end technologies. In fact, their main problem statement was that I have optimized my backend, but my main concern is the front end. So can you probably look at and then provide certain inputs to optimize the front end experience? And we are actually working on that journey. So we see more and more adoption, and we will, in fact, we see more and more requirement coming in the future on these aspects as we actually move towards customer experience. And while we are, in fact, I talked about, while we are talking about performance as one of the customer experience dimensions, in fact, that is our focus today. But I also just wanted to mention about the other customer experience dimensions that also need to be looked at. Browser compatibility. So, for example, the application is working very well in Chrome browser, but because of a recent change in the production, there is some impact to the customer usability of the application. Sorry, compatibility of the application. The application is not working properly in Google Chrome. Obviously, the users will start moving into Mozilla or Edge or so, and this will get reflected in your Google, analytics. So from where we can find out, okay, the users are moving from Google Chrome to some other browser. Probably there is an issue that we need to look at it. And usability, that's also one of the factors that we need to look into account. So how the users, what is the user friendliness of the application, and all those things. And security. And finally, the user feedback analytics, that in fact we talked about the usage pattern. What is the usage pattern across the different browsers, and then the different devices, different geographies? Is there a change in the pattern that actually needs to be kind of looked at and addressed from a performance or from a non-functional experience point of view? So with that, probably I will end my session. But I just wanted to kind of emphasize that while as performance testing and performance engineering practitioners, we focus on performance. There has to be a lot of emphasis on customer experience. As I also mentioned, total experience, which includes different dimensions of experience, which is multi-experience, user experience, customer experience, and employee experience. We probably need to look at application performance more from a customer experience point of view, looking at different metrics that we talked about, and also the strategies, how do we actually improve and optimize the customer experience. With that, I will close my session. Sriram, I will hand it over to you. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take it up.